There she is in all her tie-down glory. We have now replaced the leaking fuel drain here. I don't know if you can see that. It's a new drain on the inside of the tank. That cost me $900 for the fuel drain, $1,200 for labor, plus all the fuel that got dumped onto, well, not on the ground because we managed to catch it in tanks, but you can't reuse that fuel, obviously, because it's contaminated. So it ends up being more than you think, even the smallest little thing. But I'm really excited. Hopefully I get her out of here today. I am going to do a GPU start, ground power unit, and I can show you where that happens. That happens here, right there. Because she's been sitting a while, and even though they charge the batteries, you know, you don't want to risk having a hot start. And it is very hot here today as well. And here comes more money.
A few moments later.
Does that look like I'm getting out of here today? Oh my God, it never ends. So, up on taxi, those are the temp gauges on this particular aircraft. This is a retrofit for the Dash 1 engines. Normally it used to be an analog gauge, but when they retrofitted it for the Dash 1s, they had digital gauges, and the left one was intermittent during taxi.
Several days later.
So back at the airport again. This is the second attempt in the last week to kind of get her out of here. Last time, 3 days ago, we flew for an hour. Had a little bit of an intermittent EGT problem on the left-hand EGT gauge. That is normally because the connectors, and let me show you actually very briefly. So up here, top of the cowling at the very back is the firewall, and the EGT wires go through the wall there, and they have quick plugs, kind of banana plugs, and sometimes they get a little clogged up. And here are the two EGT probe firewall connectors that we've now sprayed and fixed. Hopefully that takes care of the problem. So we've cleaned those now, and hopefully that's all it was. I'm pretty sure it is because it's happened to me before, and it's a kind of a known problem on these old Commanders. But anyway, I'm gonna launch straight into kind of a pre-flight, because if they are good to go, we are getting out of here finally. And I just realized that my hair is really, really horrible at the moment. I have to apologize for that. But anyway, let's go into this. This is kind of a fun thing. Look at this. So even though this is the first generation Aero Commander, long before Gulfstream owned it, for some reason there's a Gulfstream tag on this plane, and that's probably has to do with when they did the engine conversion on this. They put this tag on, so this is, at least on this plane, it's now a Gulfstream, but in reality it's not a Gulfstream. It's still an Aero Commander. Do a little quick pre-flight here, look at stuff. Everything's cool, loose. We've taken all the safety equipment off, all the protective gear. Yep, good. Static ports, not clogged. Just check the doors, that the linkages are good. Nothing strange looking in here. Looks pretty good. Those are off, those are off, those are off. We have spun the props a little bit, just to kind of see that there's no strange stuff going on. And you want to see that the first compressor stage inside the TP there is, or the Garrett is also turning, which it is. You can kind of feel that because the resistance in it. And there we go. Want to see the pitot tube, nice and clear. No funny stuff. There's a second pitot tube here for redundancy. Now the paint's peeling even worse than normal. EGT's looking good. flight back was pretty uneventful, low level, 2,000 feet, so didn't have time to get the pressurization or anything like that going, or autopilot or anything. But pretty bumpy, but fun. Came back, landed, did a good landing. First landing was great. That's normally what happens, you see. First landing in a while is always good. And then that kind of lulls you into the false sense that you kind of know what you're doing. Then I came around for the second landing and I was way high and not configured right and had to just go around. And then the third landing was okay. Not as good as the first one, but still acceptable. Good. Did a little bit of a reverse on the rollout just to see that everything is good. She tracked straight. All good. All great. And it's amazing to be back in the air again after such a long time. I have a little bit of interior work to do on the inside, and then she's good to go fly, basically. I look forward to that. I really look forward to do a little bit of traveling, being able to go up to Northern California or to a couple of other states, and maybe even take the family with me eventually when I feel a little bit more comfortable. Anyway, that's it. Thank you for following. Let's go flying soon.